Hi, everyone. Our presentation will be about Meta's leadership challenges. I'll first be speaking about the creator of Meta and the company's overall history. So Mark Zuckerberg founded Facebook at the age of 23. He was a computer programmer that was studying psychology at Harvard University. After creating social media networks that were geared towards students in the past, Zuckerberg founded Facebook in February of 2004. Originally known as The Facebook, the platform profiled students and college staff by taking their names down on a simple piece of paper. Within 24 hours, 1,200 Harvard students signed up. In 2005, Facebook.com was purchased and the platform spread worldwide to all US high schools and UK universities. Facebook kept growing from there. In 2012, it had over 845 million users that spent more than 9.7 billion minutes a day on the platform. The company passed Google in 2010, and it became one of the most visited websites in the US, with 80% of its current users residing outside of the country. When Facebook had 19,000 employees, its culture focused on authenticity and transparency to best fit workers' individual skill sets. Constant developments were made to form leaders that had a work-life balance and a choice of what teams they were a part of. With all the early success seen behind Facebook, it's probably hard to see where the company went wrong. However, big tech monopolies like Facebook itself were secretly disclosing their followers' personal information without consent, transparency, and oversight. Mark Zuckerberg was profiting from exploiting free demographic information given by his users. By heavily investing in tracking technology, Zuckerberg could also follow users regardless of their locations to send them targeted ads. Facebook's success caught up to the company once it was discovered in 2016 that 87 million users had their data exploited to influence the 2016 US presidential election and the UK Brexit vote. Facebook eventually settled with Cambridge Analytica and paid this organization $725 million. Customers also became more concerned about their privacy, but it didn't end here. Facebook was fined for the fourth time by the EU General Data Protection Regulation because it failed to protect phone numbers and other consumer information that was constantly being used by third parties. Not to mention, more than 1,200 lawsuits were filed against the social media company and Instagram because teenagers had anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and more. These lawsuits and fines were settled in 2022 and 2023, and alone it had a grand total of $1.416 billion that the company had to pay for its misdoings. However, these leadership challenges were only the beginning. In 2001, the company changed its name from Facebook to Meta. Meta focused on creating a virtual place where people could play, socialize, work, and learn from one another. This place will be called the metaverse, or the mobile internet successor. Some were skeptical about the metaverse because Zuckerberg had a reputation for mishandling users' privacies. Focusing on a virtual reality and its experiences would also be expensive and would take years before the company saw an actual profit. Because of drastic dips in Meta stock prices, many felt the CEO could not put into words where exactly he was leading the company. And as AI grew rapidly, it put demands and strains on this transitioning company. Meta struggled to keep up with its competitors and industry leaders, such as OpenAI itself. The company's demands resulted in burnout, lack of employee morale, as many felt unsupported and unmotivated, and researchers that sought opportunities elsewhere. Trust between employees and the company was broken, and many felt leadership was poor as management was nowhere to be seen. Zuckerberg laid off 11,000 employees in November of 2022 to increase efficiency and streamline operations. In March of 2023, another set of layoffs called the Great Year of Efficiency began to prepare the company for slow revenue growth. After these layoffs, more leadership issues formed as Mark Zuckerberg limited employee travel, decreased free office catering options, and cut jobs and staff perks. He enforced the community engagement expectations policy, where he banned employees from talking about sensitive topics like politics, health, and other issues, not only in the workplace, but also on messaging platforms. With this initiative, the CEO felt that minimizing disruptions would increase performance intensity at work. However, to date, employees at Meta feel work anxiety and question their purpose. They are concerned that their inability to perform tasks will affect the future of their jobs. I'm now going to pass the next section off to my colleague, Michael.
Moving on to discussing mission and vision statements, it's obviously very important for a company to have a strong, simple, and clear mission statement to clarify what they do, for whom, and how they intend to achieve it, as well as a vision statement to state the heights that the company intends to reach in the future. Both of these statements will end up conveying important information to both consumers and employees within the company. We have slightly altered Meta's mission and vision statements in order to continue to represent their current goals and objectives, while also incorporating aspects of our recommended strategies for Meta to improve upon their leadership processes. Next slide, please. Firstly, taking a look at the mission statement. Meta's current mission statement is giving people the power to build communities and bring the world closer together. The main message that Meta looks to convey through their mission statement is that the company develops a host of different products and services with the main goal and intention of providing people with a platform in which they can communicate and discuss with each other, create social networks, and advance their business. Next slide, please. Our new mission statement for Meta is providing people with the ability to communicate, build communities, and become closer together through avenues they can trust. In revising Meta's mission statement, we wanted to continue to represent the core goals and objectives of the company, such as providing people with a platform in which they could build a community and create a social network, while also highlighting important values such as honesty and trust. As has been previously highlighted, in the past, Meta has had issues with both trust and even strong communication between their leaders and both employees and consumers. Therefore, we felt it was extremely important that values such as honesty and trust be present in the company's mission statement to show both employees and consumers that the company's leadership had an increased dedication to these values and communicating openly. Next slide, please. Moving on to the vision statement. Meta's current vision statement is to bring the metaverse to life and help people connect, find communities, and grow businesses. Essentially, there's a three-pronged meaning that Meta looks to convey in their vision statement. The first being the company looks to continually develop the metaverse, as well as related products and services, as a reliable engine for both consumers and employees within the company. The second being that the company looks to continue to provide an avenue for people to be able to build or find a community and create a social network. Third and finally, the company looks to continue to provide people with the ability to use their products and services as a tool to grow their own personal business. Next slide, please. Our new vision statement for Meta is bringing the metaverse to life and providing people with a trustworthy and honest channel to network, build a community, and advance their business. Similar to our revision of Meta's mission statement, we wanted to continue to represent those three core meanings of Meta's current vision statement, while also highlighting the importance of values such as honesty and trust within the company's visions for the future. Next slide, please. We feel that our revised mission and vision statements for Meta continue to represent the current goals and objectives of the company, as well as the overall mission and vision of the company. We feel Meta employees and consumers will benefit from more open and honest communication and feedback, as well as increased trust in the company's leaders, and therefore those values should definitely be present within the company's mission and vision statements. Now I'll turn it over to my colleague, Dennis.
While Meta faces low work morale due to the lack of trust in upper management, there are different solutions that can be done in order to change this. Trust is built upon foundations that a company instills in its employees. Over the last couple of years, Meta has been laying off many of its employees, and some of the notifications of the layoffs have been done over emails. This has created a poor image for the company, which not only affects the employees still working in the company, but also the consumers who use Meta branded products such as Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. In order to rebuild the trust of employees and evidently bring up work morale, Meta would need to have a better understanding of their workforce. The COVID-19 pandemic had forced many employees of different companies to work from home. While we have returned to a life of normalcy, the convenience of working from home may be a barrier to creating more trust within these companies. That said, Meta should look into promoting more in-person interactions with fellow employees and different levels of management about ongoing discussions about what is happening within the company. A recent study has shown that there has been a decline in trust on all fronts due to the lack of in-person interaction. By being able to have in-person communication, this can develop better relationships between employees and employers. Building on this, higher levels of management could continue to build on the trust between its employees by supporting staff through difficult periods in the company. An example would be multiple projects going on within the company. There can also be a push to value the different workers within Meta and their unique strengths and contributions to the company. This could mean acknowledging their efforts, providing constructive feedback, and recognizing their accomplishments. By achieving this reinforcement loop to workers, there will be a development of a positive work environment, as well as more trust between employees and employers. Now, I will pass it over to my colleague, Alessia.
Thank you, Dennis. As Sarah spoke about before, Facebook has shared people's data with third parties that didn't monitor how that data was being accessed and shared. A strategy for Meta would be to enhance transparency and data practices to build and maintain trust with its users. Firstly, Meta should provide users with granular control over their data, allowing them to easily manage and understand what information is being collected. Clear and concise notifications about data collection purposes, along with opt-in mechanisms for certain features. This will help empower users to make informed decisions. Meta can also prioritize transparent data handling by adapting practices such as data minimization. This involves collecting only the necessary information for specific functions. This can also help reduce the overall volume of user data stored. Additionally, the company should articulate how long different types of data are being retained and the purposes for which they are being retained, aligning with privacy principles and regulations. Furthermore, Meta should invest in user education regarding data security. This includes implementing features that educate users on best practices for securing their accounts and providing resources on understanding and managing privacy settings. Regularly updating users on security measures and any incidents in a clear and timely manner reinforces Meta's commitment to safeguarding user data and being transparent about potential risks. Another strategy for improving Meta is to be transparent with their customers and their employees. Transparency plays a pivotal role in building trust with both the customers and the employees. This can help form the foundation for positive relationships. In the context of Meta, clear communication about data practices is essential to foster trust with their users. When Meta openly shares how user data is handled, used, and protected, it establishes a transparent relationship, installing confidence in its user base. Furthermore, transparency extends to Meta's content policies. By providing insights into the decision-making process behind the content removal can help Meta build a trust by demonstrating their fairness. Within the workplace, transparent communication from Meta's leadership about their company goals, their strategies, and challenges creates a culture of openness. This not only enhances employees' morale, but it also builds trust by aligning everyone with a shared understanding of the company's direction. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and here are some of our references.